So the last line of code, when you don't give return, okay, by default, Python will put this as return none. Okay, return none is default return if we do not give anything, and that return has to be the last line of the code, because once you say return, it goes back to where it was called from. So as I said, in this case, line number 9 will be the first line to be executed. After line number 9, it goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6. There's no 7, right? After 6, it comes back here, the same location 9, and then it goes to 10, 11 if there are code there. So return will return you back to from where it was called, from where it was called. So you can have multiple fun add. So if this calls this my fun add, return will take it back to you the same location, okay, same position from where it was called, right? So in this case, I'm saying return none, and when I say return none, it's returning none basically. It's not giving it back. So how do you catch the return? How do you? So let's say if this function gives you a return, how do you catch it? So you catch it using a variable. I can define a return value or something like that. Okay, equal to return value equal to my fun at. Let's say this. So whatever you're returning, the value is going to get into return value. Return none. In this case, we are saying return none. So none will go to return value. So if you want to test it, you can say print value returned from the function is, and then you say return value. Okay. So if I run this case, the sum is 120, value returned from the function is, see, what is that? It is none, because we return none here, right? If I comment it, I told you by default, we return none. So when I run it, this still is none. So that's what, so this proves our point that by default, return type is none. All clear? So we know the function with return or without return. So return, when I say, if you do not say anything, it is return none. We can have return 10. Okay. If I say return 10, our function will have this return value, which is 10. Right? Okay, the return is 10. So the return value will get value. Whatever is being returned will be saved in the return value here. Okay, and we are printing it. Is that fine?
Yeah.
So here, what we can do is, if you do not want to print here, we can comment this part and we can say return sum.
Yeah.
And here I will say, okay, the sum is sum. Okay, I'm going to copy this, and of course, not sum here, because see, sum is the sum. If I say run return sum, okay, sum is inside this. Okay, so here we are doing in return value. So return value should be printed here. So there's no connection between sum and return value. It will not directly assign. Okay, we have to say return sum. Only then it comes here, and you can print it here. You see, the sum is 110 is printing from here, not from here, because we just said return sum. We are not printing it here. Return sum. So sum is returned and it is printed here. Okay.
So
Yes.
the context of the parameter is only within that
Yes.
function.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
If we declare a global variable, would it still?
We'll come back to it. We'll go step by step, slowly. Wait, hold on. Okay. So tell me any question till now what we have discussed. Okay. So when we finish functions, then we'll discuss. Okay. Just hold on. Just step by step. Okay. Any questions so far? All good?
Yeah.
So now, so here, okay, we are returning the value from this function and it is being printed here. Now, if I want to take the value from, see here, if you look at, okay, this function is returning sum, that's fine, but there's a fixed sum, A and B is being taken within the function. So most of the time what happens, like if you have to use it multiple places, A and B value would be different, right? And so you can, so in that case, what I'll do is instead of taking A and B here, I will simply add A and B here. Okay, I'll say N1 or I'll say A comma B. So in this case, what happens is my fun add expects two values A and B. Okay, so this function expects you to send two values A and B. Okay, my fun add expects A and B. So if I run it now, okay, you see this. It says my fun add missing two required positional arguments A and B. A and B, two required. So these are the keywords. Two required positional arguments. Required means, as it says, that you need to pass. Okay, you need to pass. So if I say my fun add, I have to say okay. So here if I just give 5, now I run it. It says missing one required positional argument B. So you see that when I gave 1, it assigned it to A. Earlier we said missing two values, positional arguments A and B. So it's called arguments. Okay, these are called arguments. So when you pass a variable or a value to a function, it's called argument. So this function, my fun add, has how many arguments? My fun add takes how many arguments?
2.
Two arguments. Yes. Okay, my fun add takes two arguments. Okay, and within the two arguments, the thing is, this is called required positional argument. So it says A, B, you have to pass two values to it. That's why it's called required. That means you have to pass. Okay, required. Second thing is called positional. Position is also important. When I said 5, it assigned it to A. So it does left to right mapping or matching or assigning, whatever you call it. So if I say 5, it has assigned it to A, and then it's telling you that, oh, you haven't given for B. By default, it will assign the value to A. It's left to right, matching, mapping, assigning, whatever you call it. So here, if I give 5 comma 10, what will the value of A
5.
and B?
10.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Now, if I run it without any problem, it tells you 15 because the its requirement has been satisfied. Okay, these are required positional. So first type of arguments that we are talking about is called required positional argument. Okay, required positional argument, you will have arguments A comma B, and here you will have 5 comma 10. So you need to pass two variables, two values here, for because we have two variables here. So you need to pass two values here. Okay, you can have something like that. Okay, you can have num1 equal to 30, num2 equal to say 80, and then somehow you calculate and you say, okay, now I need to perform sum, so I will send it here. Okay, send it here. So A becomes n1, A takes the value of n1, B takes the value of n2. Right? So you get 110, 80 plus 30 is 110. Okay. The first type of parameters or arguments that we spoke about is called required positional argument. Okay, where the position is important. Okay, this position and this position is fixed. Okay, so the order, it has to be the same order. If I put n2 here and n1 here, so what will the value of A and B?
80, 30.
A will be
80.
Yeah, A will be 80. Okay, so the value of A is A. The value of B is B. Okay, okay, it takes that. Now let me create another function called my def subtractor difference or something like that. Okay, so I'm going to call this as, this is our second function, right? Second function, we are saying AB, value AB, and we are saying diff. Okay, so the name should not be same, so we have to change the name as well. I will say diff. Okay, and I say minus here. Okay, return diff. Okay, we say return diff. Okay, now 30 plus 80. Okay, sum is here, and I'm going to for return value, and here I'm going to say my fun diff. Okay, so let me put this before this. The difference is return value. Okay. Okay. Go to end in 10 minutes. We'll rejoin back. Okay. So see here, it says my fun diff, and I said AB. So here I'm passing 30 and 80. So it performs same. Now I say B equal to 0. Okay. So here I'm saying B equal to 0. So here I have not said B equal to 0. So it becomes required positional argument. Here, when I say A and B, this becomes positional. Okay. Whatever we give here, okay, here num2 will go to A and num1 go to B. Okay. But if we do not provide value for B, it is not going to give you error. Okay, because we are saying B, if you do not get any value, you take it as 0. So when I run it here, my fun num2 will go where? Which variable will get the value num2?
A.
A will get num2. So you see that A is 80 and B is 0, and difference is 80 minus 0, 80. So here in second type, we are giving a default value for B. If you give default value for B, okay, then even if you don't provide, it's not going to give you error. Unlike the previous one where we got error saying that required one positional argument, one required positional argument. Okay, now I can give n1 also. Okay, there is no restriction. Now, if you give n1, this is just the default value. Okay, if we are passing a value to B, it will take the value which we pass. Okay, so 80 minus 30, you get 50. You see, A is 80 because A we are passed 80, but B takes 30 because 30 we are passing in N1. So then this default value is ignored. Default value will be used only when we don't provide the value for it. Right? When we do not provide value for B, only then it takes default value. If you provide the value for B, then it takes the value that you are providing. It will ignore the default value. It will ignore the
Default value.
default value. Exactly. Now, for this, let's say, now I make it A equal to 100. What does that mean?
It will ignore the other value given.
It will never ignore. This is not going to ignore. This is what it says. If you do not provide, okay, then you take the default value, right? If I don't provide anything, it will take the default value, which is 100 and 0. So if I run it, I am not providing any value. So value of A is 100, value of B is 0, because this is what we gave. We gave default values to both the variables. So in this case, A by default is 100 and B by default is 10. So if I give here num2 num1, then it's going to take num2 num1. Okay, this default is ignored. This default value is ignored, right? A will be n2, which is 80, and B is n1, which is 30. You can give default values to all the variables if you want to. Okay. Okay. So let's say now, tell me this. I pass n2. Okay, and I made default value for 100, B equal to. Now you tell me what will be the value of A and B if I run it.
So A would be 80
Okay.
and B doesn't have a value.
B doesn't have a value, right? Okay. In this case, see, it is positional argument. Okay. Here, position is important. So this num2 will get assigned to A and B will not have value. So if you so so sorry. So in this case, there is no point of assigning the default values to A when you do not have default value for B, isn't it? Okay, there is no point in assigning default value for C. For B, it is mandatory to give, right? So you need to give second value here. If you have to give second value, what's the point of making first value default? You getting my point?
Yeah.
If B has to, you have to give value for B, and when you are giving value for B because of the position, you have to give two values here. You cannot give one value because one value will get assigned to A. So when I have, let's say, A comma B equal to 30, 40, C equal to say 90, so on, and D, I made it like this. So what I'm saying, I have four variables, and I said A, B, C will have default value, but D does not have default value, mandatory value. If required value, not mandatory, required value. That's the exact word which Python uses, required value. If D is required value, it means that you need to provide value for D, right? And when you provide value for D, you have to anyway provide value for all the other three, because you need to have fourth value which will be mapped to D. I cannot put first value and saying this is for D. I have to put fourth value, and the fourth value will go to D, isn't it?
Yeah.
So by logic, okay, you cannot have default values before your non-default values or required value. These are called default values, and this is called required value. So if I run it, it's going to give me error, okay, because you cannot have default values, without having so it has to start from right. If you're making one default value, it has to be D. Now the error will not come. Okay, it has to be D. I cannot have something like this, because here I'm giving default, but here I'm not giving default. So default values has to be from right to left, right? So this is fine. Okay, A is fine, because if I provide one value, it will go to A. Okay, and other three will have value. Okay, so this is fine, but you cannot have default values on the left and required value on the right. Okay, that will give error. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So third type we'll discuss. Okay, this meeting will end in 2 minutes. Okay, so let's discuss the third type. Third type. Okay. Okay. So going to call multiply and see what happens. So my multiply. Okay, and I'm saying ABC. Okay. So see, I can take ABC, ABCD, but I don't have to use all, right? That's fine. It's not give error. But if I don't take CD and if I use CD, it's going to give error that C and D is not defined. Okay. So I have my fun multiply, and I'm going to add this as fun multiply here, and I'm going to say multiply, and here I'll say null, and I say A into B, and I say return null, right? So I'm passing. So the multiplication is So I'm passing 30 and 80 here, right? So 30 and 80, if we multiply, what should we get? We should get 2400, right? Which is 2400 here as well, right? So I think this makes sense, correct? This makes sense. I'm saying my fun multiply A, B, C, D. So A and B are mandatory values, so I'm passing A and B here. So A takes num2, which is 80, okay, and B is 30, and give us multiplication of, okay, multiplication of A and B. Okay, so we have seen the required positional argument where position and values are mandatory to give. Second, we saw positional argument default values. It's not require mandatory, but